Good evening, everyone. Hi, YouTube world. Good evening, family. If you are watching the replay, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, thumbs up, and come and follow me. Let's get to know each other. My last video got, I guess, blocked because I still learning about the YouTube. But I was dancing, so I guess if you weren't in that live, they blocked it so you wouldn't be able to see it. So I gotta try to learn all the rules and the do's and the don'ts so I don't get my video blocked again. But when I was on last time, I said I wanted to talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. Um, Hopefully, I'm not going to get this one blocked too if I'm talking about that. But yeah, I would just use the word, I guess, intimacy, like I have in my title. But hi, everybody. It's kind of late. My daughter is asleep, so which is a good thing. We don't have to be disturbed, especially with the topic that I'm going to talk about when it comes to the narcissist with intimacy. Um, Really, there's none. Um, I know with the narc, with my situation, it was pretty much humiliation. Uh, it was just wham bam, thank you, ma'am, and sometimes I would have a conversation with my best friend about it, and it was just like, you know, like the color purple. He just gets on top of me and do his business. That's really what it boils down to. There's no lovemaking. I don't think there's ever any lovemaking when it comes to a narcissistic relationship. It's just really about themselves and pleasing themselves, and it's not about you. And I think in my situation, because I wasn't an experience, I think I blamed it like maybe because I wasn't experienced. And of course, I talked to my girlfriends about it, and I'm not advising anybody to do that, especially when you have a marriage. I mean, now I know better, but before I didn't. So I was very much talking about my business a lot with my friends. And now that I've gotten more mature, like that needs to stay with you and your spouse. Um, if you got to bring in maybe a pastor or imam or just doing a counseling, but I think that's something that you need to reserve for just your intimate, I mean, when you find the right person. But I think with me, I wasn't experienced. I just wanted some kind of idea, like, what do I need to do? There's no foreplay, like, and they gave me advice, try to get him to do foreplay, but he wasn't about that. You know what I mean? So it wasn't great. I mean, I've heard a lot of stories with other narcissistic videos that I've watched, like the sex is so great and that's what keeps people in, but that wasn't that's not my testimony. It's not. um I think throughout the whole marriage, it wasn't, I felt nothing. And if I have to be transparent and let's just tell the truth, you know what I mean? I'm always about being transparent. um I was, and I still struggle at times with fornication. So I was a fornicator. for years. So going from, I guess, lack for of a better word, doing myself and having a partner where I thought it would be different, like from all the conversation I have with my friends about their, sexual experience, it sounded this amazing thing that I wanted to experience. And I'm finally getting that experience with my husband, and it wasn't like that. And I think I blamed myself because I'm a heavier set, I'm a big girl. So I'm thinking, maybe he wasn't attracted to me, but it's not until you get out of that situation, because really that's what it is. It's not a relationship. And the new saying, situationship, really that's what it is. It's a situationship. It's not a relationship. There's nothing intimate and loving and kindness about it. So I think when we come to this point in our lives, like we have to really be kind to ourselves and patient and loving, because it's a lot of trauma that you go through within that situationship. You know what I mean? So sex is a beautiful thing. And I've watched videos with Pastor R.C. Blake's, um, Pastor Mike Todd, I believe that's his name. And he did a lot of series with, just sexual immorality and things like that. And like I said, I'm a reform masturbator. That's the truth, you know. So it's sexual immorality. It's a hard thing because of course our culture is just sex sells. So everything is sexualized. But when you with a partner or a spouse in a committed relationship, marriage, because, call me old fashioned, I believe you're supposed to wait until you get married. And it's hard. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's easy, but even, having watched the series of Pastor Todd Michael and Mike Todd, I keep always say his name wrong, but in the way he puts it, and of course I bought the book, The Wait, by Megan Good and her husband, Devin. I forgot what his last name is, but you guys know what I'm talking about. And I still believe in that. I really, really do. That is so imperative. And I think it really keeps us away from really getting hurt. Because when you deal with a narcissistic type of beings, they don't have a qualm with who they sleep with. And with a lot of the videos that I watch, and they even speak about how they're very fluent. If a man wants something from another man, he will sleep with another man, and he's not going to call himself gay. It's all about just getting a supply and getting the supply that they want. And if it's a man, they will sleep with a man and not feel nothing about it. So keeping yourself, and I know I used to talk to my friends about it. Hey, Tori, about just waiting until marriage. And when I started trying to, well, I wasn't really holy because I started with fornicating. I mean, I've heard it much earlier, but I think I was about 15 or 16. But just and how it was, and being exposed to pornography and being addicted to that. And it takes over. Like, you can't really have that intimate and real connection with God because you into all of that. And my favorite thing now that I say a lot is, the wages of sin is death. Really, like, it's my mindset from where I was as a fornicator until now, it's totally different. It's totally different. So we really have to guard our eye gate and our ear gate. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, because I've relapsed before. You know what I mean? Because you've done something for so long and trying to stop it, it's not easy. But I'm saying all of that to say, it gets us out of trouble, because after the narc relationship, I'm still single, and it's going almost 8 years now. But there was another relationship I was getting into about almost 3 years now. And of course, he believed in waiting because he was like imam, like a pastor. And didn't, we didn't go there, of course. But later on, I realized he was gonna be like a religious narc. Thank God for Pastor R.C. Blake's and listening to his videos that really brought me back to reality. Like, you know, and to be honest, I was getting desperate. Like, it's hard out here being a single mom and trying to get the bills paid. I physically wasn't attracted to him, but it was like, I need help. And to me, I'm sure that was an insult to God. Like, what do you think I've been doing this whole time? What do you think I've been doing? So, getting out of that, because I can't imagine if I would have slept with that second, would have been my second narcissistic relationship. And if I would have slept with the person, that soul tie and all of that energy would have been, I'm not attracted to this person. I'm just getting into this relationship because I'm getting desperate. Like, I need help with the bills. And maybe you get intimate and it gets to be good finally. You get to feel good. And then you get distracted. And you end up being with somebody that you have no business being with. But because of you getting to know them sexually in that way, it changes things. And you end up staying a lot longer than you need to. And we all know with narcissistic, I mean, the person was saying he was a virgin. Mind you, he was 50 years old. And I thought that was cute. Like, oh my God, somebody took mine. Now I can take somebody's. Only God knew the truth. Whether he was telling the truth or not, I have no idea. But I say all of that to say sex is really powerful, and God made sex, as my coach Marquita D. Collins would say. And you all need to follow her. She's an amazing woman of God. You will learn a lot, like be changed. Your life will totally change. But sexual immorality, like I said, from where I was before until now, like my mindset is different. It's totally different. So I'm just thankful and grateful by the grace of God that I didn't catch the disease. when it came to that Narc, because he did everybody, anybody that was willing. I don't think he slept with men. You know what I mean? But I don't think that was his cup of tea. But he slept with everybody, including neighbors. And I found that out by accident because the computer was on and his Facebook, which he had a lot of female friends on Facebook and telling them how sexy they were. You're so sexy, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, what? So, of course, we all know there's signs. There's always signs from the beginning. It's just really up to us to just have that discernment, to just keep it real with ourselves. Like, I don't think this is the good route. God tells us, whether it's a little whisper or sometimes he's really loud and it's like, I want what I want. And there's always a consequences for that. And I know we don't want to hear it, but he still has grace for us anyway. And I'm grateful because, like I said, he was a hoe. He was a slut, even though it seemed like it's reserved for women. Men can be sluts too. They can be hoes too. And I know for years after the end of that relationship, like literally every year, I was taking AIDS tests, STD, just all the tests that you can run because I was in fear because I didn't know how many people, I still don't know. And thank God that I'm okay, that I didn't catch anything. And like, you really don't know how crazy you get until you go through this, because I thought I wasn't going to be anything like what I see on TV, people murdering people out of rage and crime of passion is what they call it. And then I found out that, oh, I'm just as crazy as those people that I see. Thank God I never did anything. And when you go through this stuff, like I said in my last videos, like, you gotta talk to somebody. You gotta find somebody you can talk to that you trust, that they can get you off that edge, because I was on the edge. Because before I met the Narc, I said to him, that's why, I mean, when I started trying not to be promiscuous or sleep around, um, I probably would have been if it wasn't for sex ed in high school. And I was just freaked out by all the diseases that I saw. I'm like, oh, I'm not having sex. I just decided to have it with myself, but I wasn't going to have sex with anybody else. You know, sin is sin is sin. So masturbation, all of that is all sin. Like, because I wasn't doing it with other people didn't excuse the fact that it's still fornicating. So what I saw in high school, literally, I mean, I wasn't doing it for God then. I was just doing it because I didn't want to catch those diseases. So from the beginning, I told the narc, like, hey, if you come and you're not interested, let me know. Because if you go do anything and give me a disease, I will kill you. And I really didn't know that. I just thought I was just saying just to freak him out. So if he ever thought about it, he will think, oh, she told me she would kill me. So let me just dump her instead of, you know, doing whatever and then end up giving her something. And literally, when everything came out, I, like I said in the last video, vengeance, that's where the title comes from. of this channel. Like, I wanted vengeance bad. And I watched Deadly Women on ID, and I would have been on that show. That's how bad I wanted vengeance. Bad. Like, you know what I mean? Because, like, you can do whatever you want to do, but don't put people's life in jeopardy. So, we really got to tread lightly when it comes to just laying with people. And I know I sound really old. I don't care. And I know if my family and friends see this, they're going to tell you, yep, Mama used to say, just wait until you get married, wait until you get married. You know, even though I wasn't doing the right thing either, because it's still fornicating. Fornication is fornication. Whether you do it with yourself or with somebody, it's still the same thing. But I thought, you know, I'm different. Mine is not so bad. You know what I mean? And to the point where I wanted to write a book about fornication. Like, just do yourself. You ain't gonna catch a disease. You know what I mean? But it's all, it takes you in different spirits. Like, it just invites a lot of things into your life that is not necessary. And I'm not saying it's easy. Like I said, I fell short. Um, it's probably been almost 3 years now since I stopped watching pornography and all of that. Like, this is this is me. Like, I don't know how to. I just tell it like it is because it's the truth. This is my truth. So I'm not telling you something like, oh, I'm goody tissue. And I used to be called that back in high school and middle school because why disrespect the teacher? Like, I'm here to learn. So how does that make me a goody tissue? Because I'm listening and doing my work. Call me whatever you want to call me. But I'm just saying from the difference that I see from what I used to do and now. And I think it's going to help us a lot from not attracting these type of spirits into our lives and just taking our time. Like Pastor R.C. Blakes would say, like, you collecting data when you're dating, ask questions because we the prize. Women, we are the prize. So take your time. Don't let them get in. It's really because, especially when you're dealing with a narcissistic type of personality in a situationship, they want to jump right in. Because from not the one that I had, because I never felt nothing. I mean, it's not even about the package. The package, all of that was great, all of that, but I just, because there wasn't any intimacy. They don't have that empathetic, like caring about somebody and wanting to please you. We both please each other. That it doesn't work that way. So from what Pastor R.C. Blakes is saying, like, test people, ask questions, and people that don't want to answer your questions, pick that up. Just have that spirit of discernment to know, like, okay, something is off, or make them mad. Let's see how they act. Don't get don't get intimate with somebody so quick. Don't. And like I said, from what I hear about with other narc, and females are the same way, like, they will give it to you good because they need you to be hooked, where you can't use your senses to be like, I got to get out of here. I know it's good, and I'm feeling all kind of ooh, 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 ah, 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 God, 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 and like, You got to get out of here because it's deadly. And if you have the, narcs that just want to sleep with anybody, which was the one, you know, the narc that I had, like, he slept with everybody. And you're sitting here like, but I gave it to you all the time. And you would turn me down at some point. What's the problem? So take your time, wait. I know not everybody's going to listen to what I'm saying because it's like, and then I've had friends that tell me, like, how you going to buy a car if you don't test drive it first? We're not cars. We beings with spirits, and like, you don't want to have people coming in with their demons and who you don't know who they sleeping with, and they contaminating your spirit. So sometimes it's not even about diseases. So if they sleep with somebody who's crazy and demented, that spirit is coming into you. So I think to eliminate a lot of confusion and ending up with narc, take your time. Don't let them get the cookie, as the saying goes. Try to wait as long, and I know not everybody's going to wait until they get married, you know, but try to wait as long as you can, because it's more than just disease, y'all. Because this disease, you can take some meds and I guess you're good to go. Some, of course, you can never get rid of, but at least you can still take medication to, like, but then when you're talking about spirits, like, you got to get exorcism or something to get those out of you. That's worse. And then when you finally find the right person, you're struggling because you never got that narc and that spirit out of you, and you can't even enjoy this great person that is loving you and cherishing you. Your soul, your whatever, is still tied to that loony. It's still tied to that demon. So I'm sorry that I sound old. I've always felt like that, like you just grandmama like, but it's real out here. And like I said, I'm just thankful by the grace of God that I'm okay. And pray that all of the spirit that he laid with, hopefully I have gotten rid of those before my husband comes, so we can enjoy each other fully as God intended it to be. Because like Pastor Todd Mike or Mike Todd said, God made sex, but the devil turned it around and perverted it. So you got these spirits out here just doing everybody, just laying with everybody and not considering the partner's health. Because, like I said, I would have been on Deadly Women if I would have caught something. And I didn't even know I was that demented until I'm like, wait, what? And I don't know this to be true, and I'm sure he probably slept with people I know, because there was one point where we worked in the, well, we didn't work in the same location. We worked for a store that, and he worked in a different location. And later I found out he was talking to people that I used to work with before. Like there was no limit. If my close friends wanted to sleep with him, he would have slept with them. He wanted to sleep with the babysitter that took care of our daughter, one of her daughters. Like they don't have a limit. They don't have a boundary. So this has always been my calling, which I never understood it when it comes to, even though, like I said, I was a masturbator. Whenever I say that word, I think about there's something about Mary, the movie, in the beginning of the film, and the brother, I think he had, I don't know what disability he had, and Sandler, I think that was the actor's name, Sander, I don't know what his name, I forgot. And he got his zipper, you know, if you watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And then the brother, because they had to call 911, and then the brother was like, he was masturbating. He was masturbating. I hope this video doesn't get blocked like my last video, but um yeah, guys, like take your time. Just have that discernment, wait. And I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy, especially with everything that we have surrounding us, and you know, everywhere you look is just sex everywhere. And I know that's, it's set up that way. Wages of sin is death. So call me grandma, call me whatever you want to call me. And like I said, I'm no better than anybody. I'm still a work in progress, where when I get the urge, like, oh my God, God help me. I remember there was one pastor, I wish I remember his name, on Periscope, and he had a scope on people that wanted to be free from masturbating. And we were repeating the prayer that he was praying. And that's how I think I got delivered. Not fully. Like I said, I will relapse. As crazy as that sound, yeah. So I know sexual sin is big. So in order to alleviate a lot of that entanglement, to stay away from attracting people like narcissistic type of personalities, we gotta take our time. We gotta shut that part of ourselves, get to know somebody without going to that point. Because a lot of times when we get there, and like I said, from what I've heard, most narcissistic personality, even though there's no intimacy, because it's just wham bam, they use it to control the person that they're trying to get the supply from. So they're going to give it to you how they do it and get you hooked. So you're seeing a lot of the dirt that they're doing, and you're thinking, oh, I want to leave. But for some reason, you can't leave because they got you hooked. Don't get hooked. For a few moments of pleasure, and you sitting there losing yourself, losing your mind. And there are beings, I don't even know if beings is the right word to call them, because I know the first Well, I knew because you always get signs. And I remember the first thought that I can think, and I remember telling him, I'm saying, you are a snake. The whole time I'm sleeping with somebody, you laying with somebody, and I mean, most of the time he wasn't coming home anyway. So 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm thinking he was clubbing with his boys because I'm like, I did my club back in high school. I'm clubbed out. So you go have fun with your boys. I don't think that's what he was doing. He was running the streets. He was running the streets, sleeping with God knows who. And like I said, I'm grateful to God that I didn't catch anything because I wouldn't be sitting here doing a YouTube video. I would be sitting in jail, in prison somewhere, because I lost it. And the way I described him was, I said, I never met the devil, but to me that was the closest to a devil. That coldness about them. Y'all hit the like button, subscribe. There's going to be more stories. And it's not just to say them just to say them. Like one of my friends said, like, it's not about me. For years, I wanted to do something. I didn't know, like, I kept picturing myself on a stage and talking to people. Like, I'm very opinionated. Mhm. I'm very opinionated. Is that the word? I don't think I'm saying it right. But just very strong about my belief. And I just felt like, talking to Africans and trying to let us get ourselves together. I didn't know how I wanted to do it, but I just felt like that was what I was being led to do. And I wasn't obedient. I never did it. So I think this situation with the narc, it was almost like if I would have done it, maybe it would have been different. Maybe I would have not have the narc been like a 90-day, fiance type of thing that happened if I would have been obedient. So I'm going to be obedient now and tell the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Because when you tell the truth, you don't have to be ashamed about anything. So if that means I can say it, and if that will free somebody else, even if it's just one person, then I'm okay with that. I'm not ashamed, like to say, yeah, I was a masturbator, I was a porn addict. I say that to give God glory because I'm not in that anymore. It's a struggle. It's not easy when you've been doing something all your life. It doesn't go away, but it's a work in progress. And I don't know where I first heard the whole the wages of sin is death, and that has stuck with me now because it's true. Because when I was doing that, I wasn't thinking about nothing. So imagine when you inviting these spirits in you, like it's a lot, and you don't know who they entertaining, what spirit that is all coming intertwined. Like I said, it's not just diseases that we got to worry about. You got to worry about the spirits that they're picking up. Sex is a beautiful thing. So we just thinking we just laying down and just thank you, ma'am, and it's done. Something is being deposited. And how Pastor Todd Mike Todd was saying, every time you lay with somebody, you are marrying them because two become one. This has always been part of, I feel very strong about it. I remember I would tell my best friend, wait until you get married, not even really understanding the concept of it. I didn't know what it was. I knew in the beginning why I was waiting until marriage was because I didn't want to catch a disease. So at least let me marry somebody that I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. And I know it's just that one person. And hope to God they're not sleeping with anybody. That was the most thing I thought, would happen. But that's not what happened, of course. But now that I'm understanding the spiritual aspect of it and the power of sex, it will literally crumble, like destroy you if we don't do it the right way. And like I said, it's not easy. And even though I was the one telling everybody, wait until you get married, wait until you get married, I was a fornicator. And I was thinking I was safe because, oh, I'm just doing myself. So there's there's a difference. No, it ain't. Sin is sin. There's no small or big sin. It's all a sin. It's all sin. So let's to eliminate a lot of the soul tie because narcs are very impatient. Like they gotta have it. Like the movie, she's gotta have it. They gotta have it, female or male. And I feel like female narcs, as bad as the males are, having experienced one myself, because the women, we soft and butter, smell good, you know. Our figured our manipulation skill will be the deadliest. Because with the world gone through what it went through was because of a woman. That's how we ended up here. So, like I said, as bad as the narc was, I can't imagine what a female narc, what men go through when it comes to female narc. Because we can put the charm, because a lot of what attract men are visual. Their love, most of them, their love languages is sex. So a woman giving you what you love, you're really gonna be hooked. So this has always been my passion when it comes to sexual, I don't know, not immorality, I guess. And I've struggled with it. You know what I mean? And I think when I watch videos about how people say, oh, they're great in bed, and I'm like, darn it, but mine wasn't. And I used to be so mad, like I waited and it was still trash. But maybe that's a good thing. Because who knows, I probably would have been begging him to stay with me, knowing that he was horrible to me, knowing that he didn't love me, nor like me even. But because it's so good, I would stay in something that is killing me spiritually, mentally, emotionally for a moment of ecstasy. I don't know what that is, but one day, God willing, I will find out. But with my husband, with the one that God wants me to be with. So sex with a narc, it might as well be porn because there's no connection. They don't connect that way. Either they're using the sex to hook you in where you ain't going nowhere, and they can run you through and do whatever, but you still gonna stay alive. But it's so good though. Let's take our time. Let's It's not even playing a game. Like, you gotta conserve your spirit, your energy, all of that. That's your power. That's your power. Don't give that away. For what? For what? And a lot of times you ain't the only one that they're laying with. And like I said, disease is not the only thing that you need to worry about. You got to worry about the spirit that they're picking up. You got to worry about that more than anything. Because, like I said, diseases you could probably get medication for. But when you talk about spirits, what do you take for that? God. But then when you're not aware of yourself to know that this is what is happening, to even go to God and say, help me get rid of this person, you still in that hook mood. Like, I got to have it. So let's not even have it from the beginning to struggle to try to say, I got to have it. Take your time. You don't have to listen to me. But I'm just saying, to alleviate a lot of the situation. Like I said, I was going to pick up another narc because I was getting desperate. I need help. And a single mom, I need help paying my bill. And I would have been in a nightmare. So imagine if I would have went ahead and did it. Now I'm with somebody that I don't really care for. But then something happened. Like, we got married. Even if we don't get the paper marriage, you become one with somebody. So how Pastor Todd might describe it, I think it was like an aha moment for me. Like, oh wow. Every time you sleep with somebody, you marry them. So you mean to tell me if I sleep with 50 people, imagine the people that are braggadocious about how many people they slept with. You slept with 600 people. You married to 600 people? 600 spirits? That's a lot of prayer and fasting to get rid of that many people out of this one body. Think of it in that way. So I think it helps, or it blocks a lot of getting to meet these toxic people. Like I said, that wasn't my testimony. Mine, I never felt nothing. Not speaking of the package, because the package was amazing, but there wasn't any intimacy. And I'm a very mentally type of, like, you got to stimulate me mentally for me to get there. It just never happened. And like I said, maybe it's a good thing because I like sweet. So if it was as good as what everybody says, I probably would have been in that. I would have still been in it because I'm like, but it's so good. And you sitting there confused and lost and don't know who you are. Because for a while I didn't. I'm still learning. I'm still learning. So please take your time. Take your time. Let's ask questions. Let's get to know one another and wait. It's not forever that you got to wait. But I think it alleviates a lot of pain and suffering. So if I had to go through this to try to help somebody not go through it, then it was all worth it. And I got a child out of it. So, and I'm still here, sane. So let's take our time. Let's take our time, get to know one another. Let's stop marrying people. Let's stop becoming one with everybody we meet. And God forbid you meet somebody who makes you want to say, I gotta have it, I gotta have it. And you're not thinking, you're not discerning, like this is not it. I need to walk away because mentally they don't respect me. They don't value me. They put my life in jeopardy. Cause and I'm sure a lot of time they're not using condom. Cause I remember even with the narc, I suspected something and my best friend came over. We went to his car and there was a condom in one of those compartments. She was the one who saw it. And I'm like, and he explained it away like, oh, it might have been there when we bought the car. Mind you, we bought it at the dealership. And when we bought the car, he lifted everything up. I think the only thing he didn't do was go under the car. And in my mind, I still fell for it. And I know I sound crazy looking back at it because I'm like, I was there when we bought the car. Infinity, by the way. And I was driving my hoopty while he was driving that, picking everybody and doing everybody. But I can laugh at I can laugh at it now, but it wasn't funny then. You know, it just heal, get therapy, be with God, talk to God, ask for forgiveness because I had to, because I was disobedient, not listening to my parents saying, no, what we, this is not suitable for you. I don't want to listen. And God tried to tell me in his own way, I didn't want to listen. So I wanted to be stubborn. I had to learn the hard way. But I'm grateful that God still showed me mercy. And that's actually what my name means, God's mercy. He showed me mercy by not catching anything. Because, like I said, I would have been on deadly women. Because I didn't know I was crazy. So that's why we have to take our time and just choose wisely. Close that cookie. Close it, close it, close it, because it makes it a lot easier to see what is in front of you. Because once you lay there, it's it's over. Because like I said, that wasn't my testimony. getting my back blown out. That's not mine. But from what I hear from all the videos that I've watched, they're good. They are great. The women, I'm sure, are probably worse. So you got to feel sorry for empathic men, super impacts out there that are just loving what they see, the big old boobs and big old butts. Now everybody, well, I ain't got a butt. So I just got boobs, but not butt. I guess you can have it all. So I guess I might be the only African without a butt, but that's okay. That's okay. It's not everything. So just be patient, y'all, and discern, discern, discern. Sex with the narc is just that. It's nothing. You never make love with the narc because they don't, there's no emotions. They're not there. They just used because that's what I felt like. I was just being used. I was there, but he wasn't. I was just a body. He was actually entertaining himself with the women in the porn and just feeling so low about myself. That's not love. That's not intimacy. So if we don't take our time and close that part of our body, and they know what they're doing and they come in and blow your back out, it's over. Take your time. Take your time. So y'all, it's late. I got to go to bed. Thank you for joining me. Hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and let's get to having conversations, and leave me comments. Let me know what y'all want to talk about, and let's talk about it. Maybe not politics, because that can get really sticky. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, with both parties, I had to really kind of disengage. Like, I became independent because I'm like, you gotta work for it. You know, you gotta show me you deserving of my vote, not. And I've always voted Democrat. Like, I'm like, I just felt like that's the black thing to do. But and even when I became independent, I was still voting Democrat because it's psychological. So yeah, let's not talk about politics because that can get really touchy feely. And this channel is all about positivity and trying to get higher, trying to get higher. So, men, discern, because I know women, we could be really, oof, I feel sorry for y'all because you're all visual. And I watch enough ID to see like how men be getting really done in because they just see what they see. So y'all keep your zippers up, and then we gotta keep our cookies jars locked up. So at least you kind of taking the time to get to know somebody, because narcissistic people are not patient because they used to wham, bang, bam, bam, thank you. You know what I mean? So the longer you prolong that the whole intimacy aspect, they will either get tired and move on to the next one who will go ahead and entertain them. But try. Like I said, it's not easy. I know. From a fornicator, like I know. But that's gonna be a life and death thing. So close up that cookie, zip up those pins. Sorry, y'all. So let's get to a higher level and not just go by I want. Let's have that boundary and that, I guess, threshold where to be patient and let God do what he does. It's hard, but in the long run, it's very, you at peace. You at peace. So I'm gonna leave y'all for tonight, and anyone watching the replay, hit the like button, subscribe, and leave comments. Let me know um, how to do better. You know, criticism, it's good because then that's helping me because I'm new to this. And just let me know your feedback and what I got to do to work on getting better at it. And we all help each other out. I'm all about, helping and supporting each other and just letting all of us be great. So thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. And we'll talk later. Lock those cookies up. Zip up those pens. Bye, guys. Bye.